to verify Reese's alibi that the federal grand jury is concentrating on any possible drug use by Angela Reese. Police trying to find out if Angela took muscle relaxants before she went to bed the night of the kidnapping and was possibly asleep at the time she says her husband was at home. Now, Fox News spoke with Angela Reese's parents, and they say that she stopped taking those muscle relaxants, which were prescribed to her quite a while ago for a car accident that she was in. They said she stopped taking those a while ago and that she couldn't have been on them that night. Lori.
Alicia, a quick follow-up. We know that literally thousands of people in this community were helping in the search for Elizabeth Smart in the days and I guess a couple of weeks after she first went missing. What do the search efforts look like now? Has this community searching been sort of scaled back?
Well, it has scaled back in terms of the way you look at it. They are no longer working out of the church behind me here. They're working inside the neighborhoods. But from what organizers are saying, it's still going pretty strong. They still have people turning out, and they still have folks very interested in conducting their own searches within their own areas. They also have people here turning out for benefits for Elizabeth Smart. So the interest here, at least in Salt Lake City and much of Utah, has not waned at this point.
All right, Alicia Acuna, thank you very much. Todd?
Well, Lori, the hunt for bin Laden, Pakistan, making a plea now to its people for help in tracking down the terror mastermind and his top aides. Our Derry Alexander has the latest from Kabul.
First, it was an appeal to find the 10 most wanted Islamic militants in Pakistan. And now the government there is asking the public for help in finding Osama bin Laden and his top al-Qaeda aides. The plea came in the form of a news release in at least one Pakistani newspaper. In it, the government calls bin Laden and his followers, quote, dangerous religious terrorists. Officials also included quotes in Arabic from the Quran denouncing terrorism and urging people with information to contact police. The release doesn't indicate whether authorities believe bin Laden or his followers are in Pakistan, and no reward has been offered. And Pakistani officials say an Indian artillery attacked a border village in the Pakistani-controlled Kashmir, injuring 8 and damaging 3 houses. In defense, though, the Indian Army says it killed 3 suspected Islamic militants after they crossed into Indian-controlled Kashmir from Pakistan. This is the first such incident since Islamabad promised to end such incursions last month. And the body of former Afghan queen arrived at the Kabul airport this morning. Queen Hamara died last week in Rome. Afghan President Hamid Karzai and former King Zahir Shah watched as her coffin arrived. The former queen was 84, and she will be buried at a hilltop cemetery. In Kabul, Derry Alexander, Fox News.
The 4th of July, just days away, but Osama bin Laden and his followers may have plans of their own for our Independence Day. We'll tell you about the latest warnings.
Plus, a bomb explodes at a train station in Israel, and a Palestinian is being questioned in the attack. We'll have a live report for you. Stay with us.
My name is Bill Davidson. I'm 71 years of age. I have macular degeneration. I was happily married for 43 years. My wife passed away. I live here by myself and my dog. When I was diagnosed, I had never heard of macular degeneration. The thing that really amazed me was how fast the disease affected me. You lose the ability to focus and read, so I can no longer drive or recognize friends on the street.
The good news is there's a treatment that offers hope. If you're over 65 and haven't been tested recently, do it, or at least call for this free information.
You've got to catch it early.
What are people saying about the AT&T Unlimited plan?
You can't beat it for $19.95. There's no way you can beat it.
It's amazing.
For $19.95 per month, you can talk to any AT&T residential long-distance customer for as long as you want.
Call 1-800-REACH-OUT now and sign up for AT&T Unlimited, the plan that lets you call as much as you want, talk as long as you want, whenever you want, for one low monthly fee of just $19.95.
For $19.95 a month, it's crazy.
On a cell phone, it's bad connection.
Call any AT&T residential long-distance customer all you want, where the connection's always best. On your home phone, it's only $19.95 a month.
I'll have more money in my pocket, that's for sure.
With AT&T Unlimited, there's no contract to sign. So why not try it and see what you can save?
$19.95. It's awesome.
I mean, you can't go to a movie for that.
The AT&T Unlimited plan. Call 1-800-REACH-OUT today. You'll be saying good things tomorrow.
AT&T Unlimited. It's perfect.
This is a Fox News alert. Within the last few minutes, Fox News has learned that a part-time Bureau of Indian Affairs employee has been charged with starting two of the wildfires that have merged into the largest wildfire that has been burning really for the last couple of weeks in the state of Arizona. It has destroyed more than 400 homes and destroyed hundreds of thousands of acres. We can tell you that the man who has been charged name is Leonard Gregg. He is, once again, a Bureau of Indian Affairs employee. We are awaiting a news conference to be held in Flagstaff, in which we assume that the U.S. attorney in this case is going to be announcing that Leonard Gregg will be charged with starting these two fires intentionally. We will keep you posted. The news conference is expected to start any minute now, and of course, when it happens, Fox News will take you there live. Todd?
Well, Lori, another troubling case out west. As the weeks go by, you have to wonder, will they ever find Elizabeth Smart? A grand jury is looking at the case, as our Alicia Acuna just reported, but without a body, is there still a case to be prosecuted? Michael Cain was the lead prosecutor in the JonBenet Ramsey murder. He's here with a look at the special circumstances in the Smart case. Mr. Cain, thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome, Todd.
Can you give me any similarities between these two cases, at least as far as the grand jury investigation is going?
Well, certainly you're dealing with a child that's a crime's been committed against in their home, and you know, from that standpoint, the cases are similar. Obviously, in the Ramsey case, the child's body was found at the house that day. In this case, the child's yet to be found, but certainly the focus of the investigation, anytime there's a crime committed, particularly on a child, the focus of the investigation is going to initially start with the people that had access to the child, and certainly people who were living in the house are the first people to be looked at. And I think in the Smart case that was the way it was, and certainly in the Ramsey case that was the way it was.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that the Ramsey case didn't go before a grand jury until like more than a year later, after she was killed. This case has gone before a grand jury in a matter of weeks. Is that correct?
That's correct, and I think that what you're seeing in Salt Lake City is the way that a case like this ought to be handled.
So you're saying the JonBenet case was mishandled by not going to the grand jury earlier?
I think that the prosecutors who were in charge of the case at the time, I don't think they fully understood or appreciated what a grand jury could do to further an investigation like this. There's a lot of information that has to be dug up. There are a lot of people that may be suspects, and what you want to do is to find out their movements, find out their habits, find out a lot of things about those. And a grand jury having the power to issue subpoenas for financial records, for telephone records, for video rental records, for all kinds of things, can do that for you. And I think that when JonBenet Ramsey was found murdered, that the local prosecutor's office didn't really fully appreciate what they could do. And it wasn't until a year and a half later when there was a change in who was in charge of the case, the decision was made to belatedly use the grand jury.
So it's a major investigative tool, essentially. In this case, it's going to a federal grand jury instead of a state. Briefly tell me why that's so much better for the prosecution and the police in this case.
Well, the federal grand jury offers a lot that a local grand jury, a state grand jury, can't. Number one, there are no borders in a federal grand jury other than the United States borders. And so, for example, if there are documents or witnesses that you want to reach and compel to testify, you don't have to go through the lengthy process that is involved in a state grand jury to bring someone in from another state. You simply serve a subpoena on them wherever they are, and they're ordered to be there.
And one last thing, let me interrupt because we're running out of time. Does this going to the grand jury mean we're going to see some results soon and maybe an indictment?
Well, yeah, no, it doesn't mean that at all. This could be a long, drawn-out process, but certainly having the power to compel testimony and to compel the production of documents is going to further the investigation far beyond what the police or the FBI or the prosecutors could do without the resources of the grand jury.
All right, Michael Caine, we have to leave it there. Lead prosecutor in the JonBenét Ramsey case. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well, a bomb explodes under a moving passenger train in Israel. It happened in the central part of the country, not far from the country's international airport. The blast damaging one car, injuring at least 4 people. Israel says it appears the bomb was placed there overnight by Palestinians. We're going to break away from this story for a brief moment to bring you a Fox News alert. We are looking live at a picture of a news conference out west to announce the arrest of a suspect in the fires that burned more than 400,000 acres. Let's listen in.
From Phoenix, Paul Charlton will give a brief statement, and then we'll follow it with the law enforcement agents representing the agencies involved with the investigation. Please allow them to go through their statements first, and then we'll open it for questions and answers at the end. Paul.
Thank you, Pete. Good afternoon. Good morning. My name is Paul Charlton. I'm the United States Attorney for the District of Arizona. Yesterday afternoon, agents from the Bureau of Indian Affairs Law Enforcement Services, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Forest Service Law Enforcement arrested Leonard Gregg on charges of violating 18 United States Code, Section 1855, starting a timber fire. 2-count complaint was filed this morning with Magistrate Judge Verkamp in Flagstaff, Arizona. The maximum penalties and charges for these offenses are 5 years incarceration and $250,000 fine for each charge, and restitution is owing for all losses. This is an outstanding example of joint law enforcement. And with us here today are other individuals from those different law enforcement agencies who will have an opportunity to briefly speak with you as well. On behalf of the United States Department of Justice, we want to extend our sympathy to those individuals on the White Mountain Apache Indian Reservation for their losses, and to those residents here in northern Arizona for their losses as well. Thank you, Pete.
Before I continue, I'd like to tell you that after the media briefing, there is a release that's available, and copies of the criminal complaint will be available for you also. Next, we have Walt Lamar from Bureau of Indian Affairs, Office of Law Enforcement Services.
Naturally, we at the Bureau of Indian Affairs, Office of Law Enforcement Services, the Department of Interior, and our partners at the FBI and U.S. Forest Service are pleased that our investigation developed a suspect which led to this arrest. As pleased as we are with the arrest, we remain saddened with the devastation and loss realized by the White Mountain Apache people and the people of the surrounding communities. I take this opportunity to assure the citizens of Indian country throughout the United States that the Bureau of Indian Affairs Office of Law Enforcement Services has at the ready a team of specialized agents who will respond and investigate occurrences of suspicious fires. It's important for the record that the individual charged with starting the rodeo fire was not a Bureau of Indian Affairs firefighter. We want to take this opportunity to thank the citizens of the White Mountain Apache Reservation for their cooperation and support during this investigation. We want to thank our friend and colleague, Mr. Paul Charlton at the United States Attorney's Office for the significant support and expertise offered to the investigation.
Okay, next we have Ray Charay, who's the FBI special agent in charge over in Phoenix.
The FBI has been very proud to be part of this investigation. I'd like to thank all the law enforcement agencies who contributed to the investigation, as well as those who weren't actually involved in this investigation but worked on the results of this, the fire, the county and the state law enforcement officials, as well as the civil authorities that helped. I'd like to say that the FBI will remain committed to this investigation as well as the investigation of the both fires in this instance. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Bill Fox, who's an Assistant Special Agent in charge with the Forest Service Law Enforcement Office.
Thanks, Pete. I would also like to take this opportunity to say thanks to the task force for inviting us and allowing us to participate in this investigation. A lot of people worked real hard on this investigation, including Forest Service special agents, as well as BIA special agents, and of course the FBI. And we're pleased that we could bring it to this conclusion. And the Forest Service is also committed to continue to work very hard and diligent to continue on with the investigation. Thank you very much.
Okay, at this point we'll open it to questions and answers, and what we're going to do is try to go with one question and a follow-up to begin with, so everyone that wants the opportunity to ask a question can have one.
What about notice?
Yes, ma'am, down here.
Young lady over there.
All right, there you have it. News of an arrest in the fires in Arizona. 29-year-old Leonard Gregg, a Bureau of Indian Affairs employee. We were told he is not a firefighter out there, but charged with 2 counts of starting a timber fire. Each carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in jail, $250,000 fine, and more importantly, restitution to the victims. More than 400 homes burned, more than 400,000 acres burned, and 30,000 people evacuated in those areas. The fire is still burning at this time, in fact, threatening a town of about 600 as we speak. Much more on this story throughout the day, but first we want to take you to the Middle East. A bomb explodes under a moving passenger train in Israel. It happened in the central part of the country, not far from the airport near Tel Aviv. The blast damaging a car and injuring 4. Israel saying it appears the bomb was placed there overnight by Palestinians. Today, Israeli troops went door to door hunting for terrorists in the West Bank town of Ramallah, also stepping in to eliminate some Israeli outposts in the West Bank, but not without a little protest going on. A live report now from Fox's Jennifer Griffin. She is live in Jerusalem. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Todd. Most of the public statements from the Bush administration this week have focused on what the Palestinians need to do to reform, and especially most of the criticism has fallen on Yasser Arafat and pressure on him to step aside. But we have learned that behind the scenes, the U.S. is also reportedly pressing Israel to make some steps, any steps, that could encourage the Palestinians to push forward with reforms. And among the carrots that Israel appears to be offering is the evacuation today of 10 small Jewish settlement outposts in the West Bank. This move led a tiny but vocal minority of angry settlers to protest outside the Prime Minister's office. Only 2 of the 10 outposts to be evacuated by tomorrow are populated, and so far all of those that were dismantled were done so without the use of force. Israel's defense minister, Benjamin Ben-Eliezer, has ordered 10 more outposts to be evacuated in the coming days. The defense minister went to see today where a 30-mile-long security fence on the outskirts of Jerusalem is being built. That fence is supposed to stop Palestinian suicide bombers. He said that the reason for the evacuation of these settler expansion areas is that it stretches army resources to defend them. Meanwhile, in Bethlehem today, curfew was lifted long enough today by the Israeli army to allow for church services at the Church of the Nativity, a goodwill gesture by Israel after a week-long curfew has kept hundreds of thousands of Palestinians confined to their homes. The Israeli defense minister also said today he would like to experiment with limiting the curfew in Palestinian areas to nighttime only, but they have not done that as of yet. Finally, Yasser Arafat made an extraordinary statement via satellite. He was addressing a group of businessmen in Switzerland today. He said he would go any place and meet with President Bush at any time in the future to talk about Middle East peace. Now, this is an amazing interesting statement, considering that President Bush basically implicitly called for Arafat's ouster this week, and yet Arafat continues to call Bush's Middle East policy speech important. And we also have learned that President Bush has ordered not only Secretary of State Colin Powell and other U.S. representatives not to meet with Arafat, but there are Israeli television reports tonight that the U.S. Consul General in Jerusalem, Ron Schlicker, who has been the principal point man meeting Arafat almost weekly and daily, he is now not allowed to meet with Yasser Arafat. We could not confirm this with the American consulate tonight, but those are the reports here. Also, one final thing, Todd, we understand in Nablus tonight that a senior Hamas military commander, Mohanad Taher, was killed in an exchange of fire with Israeli troops. He was a Hamas commander in Hebron, and reportedly the Israeli Defense Forces say had the blood of 117 Israelis on his hands. He reportedly was responsible for that bus bombing in Jerusalem that killed 19 Israelis last week. Todd?
Boy, a lot of news to digest out of the Middle East. Jennifer, thank you very much. Lori?
She was the smooth-singing co-star with Bing Crosby in the movie White Christmas and made a dramatic comeback after her career was nearly destroyed by drugs and alcohol. But Saturday, Rosemary Clooney died at the age of 74. Bill McCuddy has more.
She loved singing just for the hell of it, wrote one critic.